Hi guys, Keith Myers here again, and this is going to be Peekaboo martial boxing lesson number 3. Kind of building on the previous lesson, we have talked about the slip, which is very important, and the other portion of head body movement is the duck and the weave, or the bob and weave. Of course, essentials you've got to know to be evasive. Remember our motto, be hard to hit. Okay? First I want to talk about the slip again, and we did the simple drill where we did punch and then slip, slip, right? Punch, punch, slip, slip, which is real important. The whole idea, if I'm punching, then I'm immediately moving my head, or at least stepping. I'm doing something. I'm not going to stand right in this same spot. I'm going to move, right? And the simple one was what we did in the last lesson: punch, slip, slip, punch, slip, slip, punch, slip, 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 punch, punch, boom, boom, boom. So hopefully you've been working on that. Now we're going to change the timing just a little bit. Now we're going to punch while we slip. So I move my head and I punch, and then slip, slip, okay? So I'm going to slip, punch, slip, slip, or slip, punch, slip, slip, right? Pow, boom, 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 slip, slip, boom, slip, slip, okay? You can also do it with this side punch, where I'm moving away, which is kind of what we've already done with the overhand punch. So that's not too different, right? But it's just more straight, where I slip and punch, slip, slip. I slip and punch, slip, slip. Slip with a straight punch, slip, slip. Slip with a straight punch, slip, slip. Now that one makes good sense, right? You can imagine doing that. This one will feel awkward. And you're thinking, why are you leaning and punching that way? This is probably, I would say, as close to a jab as we would use in close, because it's not going to have a lot of power, because I can't really move my body much because I'm going to the side. So it's more like that, just boom. And it's like a jab in the sense that it's going to come in at a kind of it's going to be fast, unexpected, and comes in at a strange angle that they might not expect, right? The guy's watching you and he sees you go this way, he might expect you to do this, he might expect you to do this. He's not going to expect that, right? Because it's just a weird angle. Boom. And you're throwing it as you're moving. Throwing it as you're moving. So maybe he's punching at you and you're moving this way, his punch is going out, and then that could be high, or that could even be boom to the ribs. Maybe he's a little too far away to reach with a good body hook, so you turn and you do that low jab. Boom. So it's coming right here, it's coming at this angle. Boom. Well, like I said, maybe I'm further out, and I've slipped this way, and his punch goes there, and as I slip, I've thrown my punch low. Boom! Under his arm. Okay, see how that works? So that's a good skill to develop, that being able to punch when you slip to this side. And so it's just like the drill we did before, work on the slip, 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 but now instead of punching stationary and then slip, punch as you slip, slip, slip. 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 Work on that. Then the duck. The duck is almost like the slip, but instead of the side, you go down, right? And it's just that. I'm here, I just drop straight down. And see, when my legs are relatively even, that's just a squat, that's easy. The more bladed I get, the harder that is to do. Just try it. If I'm facing that way, my hips are essentially facing that way, that duck becomes difficult. The more square I am, the easier it is just to duck. Duck. So the idea is I'm here, I'm moving, been moving, something's coming right at me, and I duck under it. And I usually drop in training until I feel my elbow touch my leg. Bop, right? Then I know I've gone low enough. Boom, elbow touch the leg. And notice I'm going straight down. I'm not doing this. It's not ducking, it's not bending, it's dropping. When we drop under his punch, he's throwing a wide hook at me, and I suddenly just drop out of the way, so it goes over. Right? I could be hitting as I did it. I could come up and hit, but for now, just work on that duck. Duck. You do that multiple times, it really works your leg. It doesn't matter which side is forward. Again, my elbow touches my thigh, then I know I've gone low enough. Boom, boom, boom. And one of the ways to make it crisp is, it's kind of hard to explain. As I drop my weight, it's almost like I'm lifting my knees. Boom, right? Just a little bit, boom. And so that just makes my weight drop that much faster. Because as I'm going down, I've got some resistance from my legs, right? Letting me drop. If I'm thinking of pulling my legs up at the same time, basically, it's just like I fell to the ground, right? It's just a sudden drop. Boom, 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 pop, boom, pop, pop. Okay, so it's just that drop straight down. That's the duck. And then the weave, some people say bob and weave, just kind of redundant. A bob and a weave are the same thing, unless you think of the bob as being the duck part, possibly. I bobbed down, but I just think of it as the weave. You do the duck first, then as I go down, then I'm going to turn to come up on the side. So I could duck straight down as blow goes over my head and come back up, or I can duck straight down and then turn this way and come up over here. Or duck straight down and come up over here. So as he goes over my head, then I go to the side opposite. Bob was punching with a ground punch with his right arm. I would be ducking and then coming up on this side of his arm is over here, right? And so now I'm wide open and I've really loaded myself. Bam! Right? Likewise, if I'm here, I'm throwing his left hand, here's my duck, but when I duck and weave, I come up over here, and I'm loaded. Boom! And his arm is across, right? He's swinging, I go under it, his arm is over here, I could even jam it. We'll talk about that later when we talk about traps and kind of what we can do that's kind of a little bit illegal in actual boxing, but we're doing martial arts. Come around, I can jam it. Then it's just the duck, and you duck, and then you weave under. Right? I could duck, weave under to here. Too. Doesn't matter. But the important thing is that I can duck something, but then if I come up, I'm right where I started. So if I duck one punch, I may be running into the other. So that's one of the limitations if he's throwing a 1-2. I duck his jab and I come up and he nails me with a cross. But if I duck and then weave, then I'm off and my head is no longer at the same target, right? I ducked and came over. I ducked and came over. And notice, if my hips are relatively square, right, I can go to either side equally. The more bladed I get, the harder that becomes, the more awkward it is. So play with it that way. You'll realize the closer your feet are together, the easier it is to do this to either side. Okay? So, another conditioning drill for you. Last time we did the medicine ball pivot. This duck and weave exercise also uses the pivot. I'm going to stand square. I'm going to be like this. I'm going to duck and then weave. See, I've pivoted. As I weave, I come up. And then I'm going to duck and weave and pivot to this side. See, I'm dropping straight down. My weave is my pivot, and I come up on this side. And I'm actually lifting myself up. So it's like this, right? Let me get it going. Bah, 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 bah. that's the same as doing squats or doing the buttocks. But we've made it peekaboo boxing specific. So now I'm doing a squat. I'm really working my hips and my legs, but I've also included technique to it. So I'm gaining more than one thing. It's a conditioning drill, but it's not just a conditioning drill. Just like this is a conditioning drill, but it's not just a conditioning drill, because I'm learning to do that pivot solid and well. Here I'm learning to do my duck and coming up, turning my head, getting my head in motion. That's as important as conditioning your legs. All right. So that's a simple part of the lesson. Now when I have a partner, that we can work that duck and weave and show you how you go under a punch and end up on the outside. Right? So, part 2 of this lesson then is just basic footwork. How to move, right? Everybody has done, every martial art has some version of the step slide footwork, right? Fencing, Jeet Kune Do, Wing Chun, everybody does it, right? Boxing. And here, I'm just standing, and the whole idea with step and slide is I step with one foot, I slide the other up. Okay, if I step, I maintain my stance. So if I step 6 inches with my lead foot, my rear foot is going to slide up 6 inches, so I'm in the same stance. Right? And so, the direction that I want to go, it's the foot in that direction that moves. You'll see. So if I want to go forward, my forward foot moves first. If I want to go backwards, my rear foot moves first. If I want to go to the left, my left foot moves first. If I want to go to the right, my right foot moves first. And so I'm always coming back to this exact same position, right? So, and again, I don't want you step with the one foot and slide the other up the same amount. Otherwise, you end up doing this. You'll get more and more stretched out, or you'll do this. You'll get more and more narrow. So it's important to practice this. It seems simple, but you need to do it over and over so that you just are naturally always hitting this same spacing, this same measure. Okay? So if I'm here, I can go forward, forward, back, back, left, left, right, right, forward, back, left, right, back, left, forward, right. So I just play with it. And I can go at an angle that way. This foot's forward, it can step straight across, it can step straight forward, or it can step at a 45-degree angle, and I can move this way. Likewise, I can go back at a 45-degree angle, this way, right? So I've got kind of a starburst configuration, right? Go forward, back, left, right, 45 degrees, 45 degrees. Then I have to put the other foot forward if I want to go that way, or do the next footwork we'll do. So play with that. Forward, forward, back, back, left, left, right, right, 45 degrees, 45 degrees, 45 degrees, 45 degrees, all right? Now let's do the switch leads. It doesn't matter with both leads. Forward, back, back, right, right, left, left, 45 degrees, 45 degrees. Forward, back, right, left, forward, back, right, 45 degrees, back, forward, back, boom. And just play with it. And always then check yourself, make sure you're in a good position. I may get stretched out a little bit, so I turn to square better, and then the next time I step, I readjust. Okay, but always come into that square position where you feel like you could use both hands equally. So that's how you start checking it. Get familiar with the footwork, and then add the punch. Pop, 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 step, pop, pop, step. Notice I punch and then immediately step. That same idea that if I punch at somebody, I don't want to stand right there as a target. I'm going to punch and I'm either going to slip, I'm going to punch and I'm going to duck, weave, or I'm going to punch and I'm going to step offline. Right? So here's where you start practicing that. Punch once or punch twice. Work it both ways. Punch, punch, step. Punch, punch, step. Step in, punch, punch, step back. Step in, punch, punch, step back. Step in, punch, punch, step right. Step in, punch, punch, step left. Step back, step right, punch, punch, step left. Punch, punch, step right, punch, punch, back. I play with it that way. Both guards, right? Punch, punch. Punch, punch, step left. Punch, punch, step right. Punch, punch, step back. Step in, punch, punch, step left. Step in, punch, punch, step right. Step in, punch, punch, step back, step left. And just work various permutations of that. Simple step, slide. Step, slide. Step, slide. Okay? Very basic footwork. Everybody does it. Another component is like, okay, but we're ambidextrous. How do I switch sides? You just simply step through, right? So I could be working this, boom, boom, boom. Then I step through, I step 45 degrees, I'm working it. Maybe I step through. And again, nothing magical. It's like taking a walking step. I just step forward, hit that same stance. So if I was coming at you, let's step forward, pop, pop. Step forward, pop, pop. Step forward, pop, pop. Right? It's more difficult to move backwards that way. And you probably wouldn't. If you had to go back, you'd shuffle quickly and get offline. You wouldn't go straight back. Okay? But going forward, definitely. Right? So I work it. I step, punch, punch. Step, punch, punch. Make sure I'm squared. Step, punch, punch. Step, punch, punch. And then you do it this way. I'm going to punch, punch, right? Punch, 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 punch. So now, the step is the punch, right? Bam, bam. I don't want to do this. Boom, boom. That's too easy to see coming. The punch and the step are at the same time. Bam, bam. Right? Moving around here. Boom, boom, boom. Then I'm going to step through, right? Pow, pow. Pow, pow. Pow, pow. Pow, pow. See how that works? I don't go bang, bang. I'm going bam, bam, move. So work it both ways. Step through, punch, punch. Just kind of check yourself. I step through, punch, punch. And then I punch through, punch, punch. Punch, punch. Okay? Now, related to that, if I have to close with an opponent, I don't want to just walk straight at him, right? Because again, he's got a beat on me. If I'm just walking straight towards him, I'm still a target. I haven't moved my head offline. So I can combine things. I call this the slip step. So I'm going to do the step through as I slip, right? So my head is not right on the center. I'm moving. I'm a moving target as I have to close. Maybe it's 3 steps. Maybe I'm further away and I have the opportunity, I can just relax until I'm kind of getting within range, and then I'm going to do this. But this is how it works. If I'm starting square, right? Remember the slip, I have to throw my hip. And as I throw my hip, this leg goes forward. Boom! See, so I've slipped off. Now, as I throw my hips this way, my head goes that way, this leg comes forward. Pop! 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 So rather than just leaving my head on the center and walking forward like this, I'm slipping. I'm slipping my way in. Pop, 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 pop. And Mike Tyson could do this very fast. But you see the dynamic? Since I'm going that way, this foot just shoots out. And then when I go back this way, I'm unloading this leg, putting my weight on this leg, so this one just naturally shoots out until I rest on it, right? You see that? So I'm already here, this unloading this leg, and it shoots out. So again, I'm here, shift, 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 shift. And it feels, and your hips swing when you walk, right? Nobody walks stiff and mechanical. Your hips swing, and so as you do this, you'll feel that, right? My hips are swinging. My hips are swinging. Pop, pop. So it makes sense. Just swinging your hips and letting the leg go out. Pop, pop. So if the guy's punching, he's trying to draw a bead on me, and I want to get into infighting range, he's punching a straight line, aiming right here. Man, I'm stepping, boom, 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 and then I'm in, right? This is Rosie. So I'm here, I'm a little further out, I'm going to close with the guy. So here I come, boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. And that keeps me from just going straight at him, because my head is constantly moving off the line until I'm close enough, where I want to be. Maybe I'm going to trap, tie the guy up, so I'm moving, pop, pop, bam, and then I'm in. Okay, but that's a valuable way to close the distance and not get hit. It'd be hard to hit. And it's related, remember the other lesson, we did the slip and then hop to the side. Slip, lateral movement, slip, lateral movement, slip, lateral, slip, lateral, slip, lateral. Well, now I've got slip, forward, right? Slip, forward, slip, forward. So again, see how important using the hip action and slipping the upper body is part of the core biomechanics, and is an integral part of not only generating power and making your head hard to hit, but also powering various steps and movements, right? Because in another lesson, you'll see how important it is to the shift, right? So I'm here, and I shift completely. That's coming. That's it for now. Hopefully this all makes sense. Keep practicing.